Hi, I'm Melissa, your free-range psychic. Today is January the 12th, 2020. I'm going to do a guided reading on Mike Pompeo. When I say guided reading, I mean I ask my guides to show me the cards psychically, then I ask them what they mean, and then I give you that reading. So after I did that, I started to research Pompeo, and I found things I did not know. One is that he's an evangelical. He's of the same ilk as Mike Pence. He wants to bring about the same kinds of things that Mike Pence wants to bring about, that really ultra right-wing agenda, misogynist, anti-gay, anti-Muslim, wants to bring about the rapture. He's one of those guys. I didn't realize that. Also, he's owned by the Koch brothers. He was not a politician until 2010. I think he's from Kansas, and he worked for the gas and oil industries and the Koch brothers. They donated or gave him $80,000 directly to his campaign, and then I think overall they've given him over $300,000. But he is their man regarding probably the seamy side of the oil industry. What better place to be postured or positioned than as Secretary of State, so you can move all the pieces around for the Koch brothers so that they can gain ascendancy in the oil games that are like the Game of Thrones that are being played out in the world. Also, his big I think he was called the King of Deregulation, and he's part of the whole Citizens United crew, where I guess the same year he got into the Trump administration. I could be wrong on the timing of that, but that was when dark money was allowed to come into politics. So he's definitely, placed there by the Koch brothers, as many of, if not all of Trump's administration have been placed. But the other thing that I found was an article that was published very recently by this news agency called The Independent, or perhaps some online magazine, or I don't know if it has a physical presence, but this article is January 7th by Kim Sengupta, and this is all about they asked the question, why was Soleimani in Baghdad on that day? What was he doing there? It was unusual for him to be there. So what was the deal? And so in this article, they talk about how he was there to meet a representative of, I want to say not a mediator, but somebody who was speaking for the Saudis, an intermediary. And what they were going to speak about that day before he was assassinated was easing tensions in the Middle East between Shia Iran and the Sunni Saudi Arabia. So in this article it says this was the crux of so much strife in the Middle East and beyond. And so apparently the intermediary was this man called Abdul Mahdi, who was I think I should know this, but he's the Prime Minister of Iraq, or a spokesperson for him. I'm not sure. No, he's the Prime Minister. Sorry. So Abdul Mahdi said, I was supposed to meet Soleimani in the morning, the day he was killed. He came to deliver a message from Iran in response to the message we had delivered to the Saudis in Iran. Then the Prime Minister disclosed Donald Trump had called him to ask him to mediate following the attack on the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. According to Iraqi officials, contact was made with a number of militias, as well as figures in Tehran. The siege of the embassy was lifted, and the U.S. president personally thanked Mahdi for his help. then it goes on, there was nothing to suggest to the Iraqis that it was unsafe for Soleimani to travel to Baghdad. Quite the contrary. This suggests that Trump helped lure the Iranian commander to a place where he could be killed. It is possible that the president was unaware of the crucial role that Soleimani was playing in the attempted rapprochement with the Saudis, or that if he knew, he did not care. So that's a bit of interjecting from this journalist. So Abdul Mahdi spoke of his disappointment that while Trump was expressing his gratitude over the mediation that was happening, and this is a historic mediation, can you imagine, had it taken place, how profound that would have been potentially to ease the conflict in the Middle East? That would have been amazing. It's what ostensibly everybody's working for. Peace in the Middle East, right? Yes, so Abdul Mahdi spoke of his disappointment that while Trump was expressing his gratitude over the mediation, he was also simultaneously planning an attack on Soleimani. That attack took place not long after the telephone call from the president. So that is completely contrary to what the spin has been regarding this situation. There was so much covert action. It really reminds me, Pompeo was, before Secretary of State, he was with the CIA. So that's kind of a CIA move. But to involve the President of the United States in that kind of betrayal, that I don't even know there's no words for it. What I would like to see, I'm really hoping that Rachel Maddow breaks it down for us. There's somebody like that, because this is huge. This is really big. And why is this not being reported on right now? I really don't know. So that is really important for us to know about. So the other articles that I had been really looking at, and I'll make sure that I will include the links below, are ones about, well, the Pompeo and the Coke article. But there's another one that really caught my attention. This article, it's by Sarah Posner. I'm trying to think of where I got it from. I think it's the New Republic. It's this article. The evangelicals who pray for war with Iran. And it says, Mike Pence and Mike Pompeo, who urged Trump to kill Qasem Soleimani, are ardent proponents of Christian Zionism. So that is the whole movement, the whole rapture movement, so that if there's a apocalypse, that you can create a conflagration in the world, and it paves way for the Messiah to come. And all the good people can, the devoted ultra right-wing evangelists will be ascended up to the rapture and leave us all here, poor suckers that we are. And so they really buy into this. They really believe it. In this article, it's so interesting. They talk about this televangelist named John Hagee, who launched this group called Christians United for Israel in 2006, calling for military action against Iran. So what he's talking about is this vision that he has of creating this huge apocalyptic war that will start out in some way, either from Israel or from the United States. Yeah, here it is. In his 2006 book, Jerusalem Countdown, Hagee imagined an elaborate scenario in which a U.S. or Israeli strike on Iran would trigger an inferno, this is a quote from the book, that will explode across the Middle East, plunging the world towards Armageddon. Faced with scrutiny over his apocalyptic theology, he strained to create a discrete image for his new political organization, which was this Christians United for Israel. And then as time went on, there weren't that many people initially who wanted to be part of it, but who wants to be part of it? Mike Pence is one. And then Pompeo. So what happened to Soleimani, I truly believe that this came from this seed, this thought, and apparently so does this article. And fortunately, it didn't create that Armageddon. There were too many forces who were it was against their interests, and I believe that's why Putin, the Saudis, and other countries that you would think would have jumped into the fray stopped it. They just stopped it cold. Because they don't want to see an Armageddon or apocalypse. It's not within their interest, but the evangelicals do. Because they're not just in it to win it for power or greed. They have this other, kind of fanatical vision. And not kind of, it's a fanatical vision that doesn't involve the end of the world. They're crazy. And Trump, those are the people who are around Trump right now. So I wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. I hope that there's more reporting on it. But, you link all the pieces together. This was such a overtly illegal and outrageous act that it didn't stand. The world shut it down, which is a good sign. So the reading I have, the very first card I got, was this card, the Devil. This is Mike Pompeo. Pure evil entity, dark energy, this man. Above, surprise, surprise, the Tower. This is the assassination of Soleimani. I think this was in that position last week also, or either the subject or above, I'm not sure. In the recent past is the Knight of Pentacles. This is the Crusader. This is the evangelical soldier, the evangelist. That's what I was trying to say. Onward Christian soldiers marching off to war. Let's assassinate Soleimani and cause Armageddon. That's what that card means. Below is the Five of Swords. Five of Swords, narcissist. This was intentional. This was an intentional act to bring about chaos and destruction. And this is all about these sociopaths who are really fueled by this dark energy. And this is this is what they want to bring about. In the near future is the Five of Wands. So I asked, well, who's in this card? Is this just, talking about general disagreement and fighting, infighting, or are these actual, individuals? And my guide said it's Pence, Pompeo, Trump, Jared Kushner, who's also a part of this really ultra right-wing Zionistic type group that wants to also assist in this Armageddon, which is crazy because it's not actually kind to Jews at the end of that vision that they have, that apocalyptic vision. If you're not Christian, you're not going to get to go with those guys. You're not going to belong to that club. And the other, Bolton, because Bolton is also pro-war, anti-Iran. Although my guides say Bolton didn't like the way this was done. He's more into covert action, not this craziness that it's so out in your face. Because look what happened. The world put a stop to it. If it had been covert, if they could have been, kind of destabilized things or gotten assassinated Soleimani in another way, there wouldn't have been so much opposition. But they're fighting amongst themselves, and I asked my guys, well, what does that mean? They gave me a clarifying card. The clarifying card is the Ten of Swords. They're their own worst enemies, really, because they're all vying for power. Nobody trusts the other person. Nobody has each other's back. They're not in unison, so they're not strong. Their foundation crumbles underneath them. It brings down their own demise because they it is the Game of Thrones, really, this card. Look at it. And only one can be the winner. So if only one can be the winner, then they're fighting against each other. They're trying to weaken each other. Each one has huge ego, has a huge amount of greed, and they do not want to share. Nobody wants to share power here. The clarifying card here, this is the Three of Pentacles, and this comes up a lot of times as spin. This is Pompeo going on Fox and Friends and spinning, saying, oh, we're bringing peace. And Trump also saying, this is for peace. This isn't for war. We didn't want war. We wanted to stop violence. And they're trying to reframe the narrative. I asked for a clarifying card behind here, or behind it is King of Swords. This is Pompeo. This is his ego. This is what he really perceives of his own role. This is him being above the fray, in power, in control. Also, there's a kind of celestial or kind of, he's in the clouds here. So this is also possibly a connotation to his, evangelical agenda here, where he's going to be, soldier for God, as he brings about the destruction of the planet. That's Pompeo. The outcome card, I got the Queen of Swords, and the clarifying card here is the Page of Pentacles. This is Pelosi, and this is using the power of the house to limit their power, to stop them from doing the amount of destruction that they want to do, coming in with legal action, with bills to stop the Trump administration from having limitless power and going any further. I wanted to say as far as they wanted to go. I couldn't get it out. Sorry about that. This is the second or third time I've done this video. The first time, it just at some point just shut down. So I instead of piecing things together, I thought I'll just go tonight and I'll do a whole video and get it out there. I know it's terrifying, but my guides say, it's going to be shut down. And thank the universe that the world did step in, and it didn't. It wasn't the match that lit the oil fields up. Metaphorically, it was shut down by the world. This act of pure terrorism and this act of murder, whoever Soleimani was. And look, we have, like I think I said in the last video, we have plenty of blood on our hands. But the idea of somebody launching a strike against one of our generals, or nobody could really fathom that. So how could we do that? I still can't get over the fact that they did that. The Oracle card for us, to change the subject, I didn't even segue very well into this, but discernment. So this card is from the Sacred Earth Oracle. This is a beautiful deck. It is by let me see here, Joni, Carmine, Salerno, and Leela J. Williams. The artwork is by Helena Nelson-Reed. And this is the back of these cards. I love these cards. Sacred Earth Oracle. Discernment. The books, films, and people you choose to spend time with subtly feed your beliefs about how the world works. Choosing good food means your body can absorb all the nutrients it needs for adequate health or optimal health. The same applies for the information and attitudes you surround yourself with. So, it's where you put your head, right? Be selective about the movies, books, and conversations you have. Give yourself the opportunity to absorb higher thinking, greater visions, and deeper love. Spiritual meaning. Breathe in the Divine Mother's deep love for the world. Surround yourself with the works of peace and compassion. Take on the beauty and joy of living. Increase your concentration of love, and it will naturally flow out into the world from high to low, following the channels to where it's needed the most. The energy you foster in yourself and in the world is a choice. Be selective. Choose love. I always say this towards the end of my videos, but I do personal readings. I am a medium. I can contact those who have passed over, or try to anyway, and ask the angels to help them make their transition if they have not already. I can introduce you to your guardian angels, read past lives, anything happening in your present life, or if you want to look at the past or the future in this lifetime. So saying that, I'm going to hopefully publish this video pretty soon. I hope my computer lets me do that. Really, honestly, in the last video I tried, it just kind of like shut down halfway, and it took me a couple of hours to get the computer up and running. I don't know what was going on. Maybe it was trying to give me updates or something, but it didn't ask me. It just stopped. You guys take care. I love you very much. Oh yeah, check out my Sacred Fire Psychic Readings Facebook page. And if you find it interesting, I'd be really happy if you liked it. Also, I have a new Patreon page, and it's under Sacred Fire Psychic. Take care, everybody. Love you very, very much. Bye-bye.